Three, two, one. Hi.
Hey guys, it's Jillian. Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm here with a couple of my friends to give some advice on college apps and essay editing. So if you're new here, then we'll just start by going around and introducing ourselves a bit. Hi, my name's Jillian. I go to Berkeley and I'm majoring in industrial engineering and operations research and business in the management, entrepreneurship, and technology program.
Hi, I'm Christian. I go to USC and I'm currently majoring in computer science and business administration.
Hi, my name is Akshaya Ganeshan. I go to North Carolina State University. I'm majoring in aerospace engineering and minoring in political science. And I'm also a Park Scholar, which is a 4-year full merit scholarship with Executive Style Leadership Academy and an intensive capstone project.
Hey guys, my name is Namita. I go to UT Austin, Hookham, and I'm an econ major.
So as you guys know, for the past couple months, I've been helping you guys edit your essays, which has been super fun. And I know that the deadlines are coming up and a lot of people have been asking for essay editing. So I wanted to bring in a couple of my friends that are also really good at editing essays, and they're all really great writers. So I thought that they would be some great additions to the Gold College Essays team. So if you guys have your essay draft or need essay editing, feel free to reach out to me at goldcollegeessays@gmail.com. That will also be in the description. To intro them a little bit more and help you guys get to know them, I thought that we could share some tips that we have for essay editing and also a little bit more about our essay editing style. So first we're going to go over a couple of tips. All right, so I have 2 tips for you guys, and the first one is to make sure that you have concrete examples throughout your essay, because a lot of times when I've been editing your essays, I've noticed that there's a lot of great details about maybe your background or context, but not quite as many specific actions that you've taken that support the ideas that you're putting forward. So you want to make sure that you have really concrete stories and examples all throughout your essay to really back up the ideas that you're presenting to your reader. And the second tip I have for you guys is to make sure that in your conclusion, you want to bring it full circle and make sure you're reflecting on your ideas and experiences that you talked about throughout your essay, because the conclusion is meant to show your reader kind of what you took away from all those experiences that you talked about, and also what you're taking from those experiences into your future. So you want to make sure that you bring it full circle with what you started your essay out with in the intro, and also give your reader an idea of who you're going to be on their campus.
My first piece of advice would be, once you choose a prompt, brainstorm a couple different directions that you could go with your essay. And when you start writing your essay, don't be afraid to change directions of your essay if you feel like the essay that you're writing isn't super strong, because you can always go back to that list of ideas that you brainstormed and pick a different idea and try to write a better essay out of those. And my second piece of advice would be to utilize the additional comment section in the Common App. If you want to add a piece of information about you that you weren't able to share earlier in your application, feel free to add it there, but I do recommend keeping it concise so that the admissions officers do not have to read another essay.
Some tips I have for you guys are, if you're applying to more than 5 colleges, make a spreadsheet or document and see if any prompts overlap, so you can look at which ideas can be translated to more than one college and see where your ideas can stand out more in different prompts. Another tip I have is to write about you, not your accomplishments. So you make up your accomplishments, not the other way around. Also, the activities section is there for a reason. That's where you can list things out and be more specific, but your essay is about your character and who you are. And lastly, have a doc where you can put all miscellaneous activities, accomplishments, or stories to pull from, so it makes for an easy resume and also makes some easy essay ideas.
All right, so some advice that I have for you guys is, well, first and foremost, write about something that's important to you. This is your essay, so it's important so that the readers can really understand you and connect with what you're trying to say. Second piece of advice that I have for you guys is to not just write out what happened. So if you're talking about an experience or event in your essay, when you're portraying that, don't just write out the facts and details, but also explain why you're including it, why it's important to you, and just the meaning behind it, so that the readers can connect to it more and they can really understand why you're including this experience and learn more about you. And lastly, answer the question. So you have a prompt, and just make sure that you stay on topic the whole time. Try not to dry away from the line of thought that you're creating, just keeping your flow of ideas, and ultimately all of it comprises to answering the prompt.
All right, so I hope that you guys found those tips helpful, and we can definitely share more tips in the future if you guys would like. But I wanted to give you guys a little bit of an idea of what our different editing strengths are to help you guys pick which editor you would like to edit your essay. I think when I'm editing essays, the main thing that I really like to look for is the organization of your ideas. I like to make sure everything flows well throughout the essay. I also like to make sure that you're not having too much fluff in your essay, so keeping things concise while also being able to tell you when you want to expand on your ideas and maybe structure your sentences differently to bring out a certain part of the sentence or a certain part of your overall story in general. So those are a couple of my strengths. And on to you, Christian.
So a couple of my essay editing strengths would be helping people really effectively deliver their ideas so that whatever they're thinking of, whatever aspect of themselves that they want to portray in their essay, I try to help people really effectively put that on paper and put that into words. Another thing that I am good at is maintaining the strength of the essay throughout. Sometimes essays can get a little bit fuzzy towards the end as you're trying to develop your ideas more. So I really try to help keep people on track and highlighting unclear ideas or like expanding on the clarity of the essay just to make sure that whatever you're saying is delivered as clearly as possible so that everybody can understand it.
Some of my editing strengths are continuity, so making sure ideas flow well throughout your essay. So at the beginning, if you're talking about something, making sure that at the end you're really getting that point across. Another thing is grammar inconsistency throughout the essay as well. Making sure your tone is the same, making sure grammar translates throughout, you're still in the same tense. I'm also good at making things sound better and enhancing prominent points in your story and your ideas.
So some of my editing strengths would be grammar and structure. So just checking your grammar throughout, or also just checking your sentence structure, and if that needed any edits, making sure the grammar kind of works best with what you're trying to explain, what you're trying to bring out of your idea. My second editing strength would be just making sure that everything ties together. So helping you organize your ideas and just making sure that all of it is coherent. And tying in with that is just bringing out the why in your essay, and not just for the essay as a whole, but for individual ideas as well.
So now I thought that we could go over a couple of different questions to help you guys get to know them a little bit more. So the first question I have for all of us is, what was your Common App about? And if you guys want to hear my Common App, it was actually the previous video that I posted, so go ahead and check that out after this video. But basically I wrote about positivity and how that has motivated me to get more involved in my community and care about more things in the world.
So my Common App was about an experience that I had in the summer before writing college essays. I happened to go to Japan, and in my Common App, I kind of explained how the experiences that I had there really helped me develop a more global perspective that I felt would help me as I entered a more global world in college.
So I wrote my Common App about Shankara Eye Foundation, which is a charity dedicated to eradicating curable eye blindness in rural India. Basically, I talked about the development of my character as I got more involved with the charity and more involved with the organization, and how I went from different leadership roles and how those affected me personally.
So my Common App was about one of my hobbies or my passions. It's art. And so art's a really big part of my life. But the way that I wrote it was I took a different approach to it, and I wrote it in the process of me creating an art piece that I already created. But it was just in the process. So it was how my mind was thinking throughout it and how I was drawing it. And then at the end, just kind of connecting the meaning of that piece to my life, reflecting on it, and showing that analogy.
All right, cool. So the next question that I have for all of us is, what was your favorite supplemental essay that you wrote? And to answer my own question, my favorite supplemental essay that I wrote, it was one that I used for a UC essay and also for a different supplemental. But basically, I wrote about Asian Culture Club in high school. I started the Asian Culture Club at my school to help foster inclusion and awareness of different cultures. In this essay, I wrote it in the way that it was a step-by-step for making these things called lucky stars. And I just really liked the way that I wrote this because I felt like it was a little bit more creative of an essay. And I went step by step where like first you get the paper, and then step 2 is like you fold it in a certain way, and then step 3 is make a wish. And basically at the end, I connected it back to the idea of Asian Culture Club and how like if I had a wish, then I would wish that the rest of the world was just as inclusive as the community that Asian Culture Club had fostered in my school. So that was just a really important essay to me because that's an important issue to me, and I also really liked how creative it was. And I will also be posting my UC essays very soon, so if you guys want to hear more about that, then make sure to keep on watching in the future as well.
So for my favorite supplemental essay, I talked about my Girl Scout Gold Award project, which was actually a 96-hour service project. And it focused on fighting the food desert epidemic in Dallas, Texas. And personally, cooking has been a super big part of my life. I was actually on Chops Junior. So I tried to take the skills that I learned from that experience and really apply them to this project. And I entitled the project Healthy Bites, and taught young children how to cook healthy, budget-friendly meals that they could take back to their family And just really discussing that experience is really something that was heartfelt to me, and I just really liked that essay.
So my favorite supplemental essay was one that I wrote about dance. And for me personally, I do Indian classical dance, specifically Kuchipudi, and my sister did Bharatanatyam. So I actually wrote my essay about how when I was younger, I was really jealous of her and all the attention she was getting from dance. And I wanted all the attention for myself, being a good little 4-year-old. And I basically begged my mom to put me into classical dance as well. And after that, it sort of transformed into a passion of mine where I was really involved in dance and to understanding my culture as well.
Okay, so my favorite supplemental essay was, the prompt was about identity and background. And so I wrote about my culture, but based it off of extracurricular activities that I did. So I sing, so I'm in Carnatic music, which is Indian classical music. And I also am in this like language course type of thing, learning, writing, and just like learning more about my culture and background kind of. So I started my short answer off kind of bridging both of those and explaining like an experience that I had that was connecting both of the activities and finding my place in between both my cultures, so my American culture and Indian culture, and just bridging that cultural gap.
So the last question I have for us is, what was the best piece of advice for essay editing or college apps that you received when you were going through college apps? And the best advice that I received, and I definitely use this a ton, especially for my Common App, was to make sure that each sentence that you have has meaning as a standalone, so that you make sure that each sentence has like a lot of meaning and adds a lot to your essay. So what I did for my Common App was I actually separated every single sentence of my Common App into separate standalone sentences and read them by themselves, and made sure that every single sentence had some type of meaning by itself. This just helped me make sure that each sentence that I added in was important to me and also added to the story to make up one coherent idea.
My best piece of advice that I received from someone else is actually in action, and that is to get as many eyes on your paper as possible, because what somebody might think is clear and coherent might not make sense to everyone. So you really want to make sure that your essay is clear for all audiences.
I was going to say, aka get your essay edited by us.
The best piece of college apps advice that I got from someone else was to not have a dream school. So don't have a school that you're putting on a pedestal that you're really trying to work towards. That can be a really good thing, but also be sure to have other colleges in mind and don't hinder yourself to one school or college. Make sure you have a broad horizon.
A really good piece of advice that I got from someone else had to do with just essay writing in general. And it was just to make sure that whenever adding in new ideas or just a new train of thought, just making sure that there's a reason behind it. So if it's not something that's building off of an idea from before and the reason's there already clearly, or if you're not like making sure to clarify it later, then there's really no point in adding it. So just to be mindful of that when writing essays.
Yeah, nice. All right, thank you guys for watching. That's about all we have for you today. Any last words, guys?
I would say if you have some time today, get writing, get started on those essays. We're excited to edit. Fight on.
Choose me to edit.
Yeah, I just want to say, you guys got this. Don't worry too much. Don't stress too much. And if you need any help, we're always here for you and we can help you edit those essays.
Oh, so cute. Enter the giveaway.
Enter the giveaway.
Bye.
Bye. Fight on.
Okay. We can all just say hi.
Hi.
I'm like 98.285% sure.
I'm surprised all of my major changed it. I'll tell you, you'll see my introduction.
Ooh, okay.
Girl, wait, I did not want to have a surprise face.
Yeah. All right, so, my bad.
Ew, why is your face like that?
Me?
Fine.
Yeah, you were like, wow.
Okay. Me forgetting what my program is called. I was like the entrepreneurship. And what is one cool thing you have been doing in quarantine or something?
How should I keep my resting face? Because I don't want to be like...
Yeah, I know.
I'm like kind of smiling, but like, I don't want to be like, hey.
When you said, they're joining the team, I was like holding back and saying like, yeah. Being like, oh my God, yeah.
You have such a great like YouTube personality, or like,
No, like start a YouTube channel or something.
So my favorite supplemental essay.
Oh wait, sorry, I just like moved up while you were talking.
It's just like lunging towards the